Welcome back. If you're new, you can have me scuttling around inside your skull by subscribing. Click the bell notification and you won't miss anything. Here's a few of your comments that arrived over the past couple of days in response to my last video called "Don't watch or listen to this video, keep away.
There's nothing to see here."
Scarescapes sent me a wonderful comment on Twitter. He said, "Now I know where those keys went. You never cease to freak me out. You're one of the few writer narrators who can do that." Dave, thank you so much for your support and such a wonderful response to my last video. During the night I left you a little gift in your fridge, so go and open it and try not to scream. And Night Yoshi said, "You seriously have the best reading voice ever. Love your channel." Night Yoshi, you are awesome for sending me that comment. Now go and look in the mirror in your bathroom. Then close your eyes tight. Keep them closed and say, "Hello clown." Then wait 13 seconds with your eyes still closed, and then think about my beautiful face. You can count out loud if it helps. Then open your eyes after 13 seconds. You will see me standing behind you. But please don't scream. Now it's time for my latest video. Top 7 horror list. The most terrifying shark attacks that really happened. Attacks by great white sharks are sometimes known as White Death. They are usually fatal because of the size and aggression of the creatures. Sharks can swim as fast as 40 kilometers an hour, which is about 25 miles per hour, in short bursts. Great white sharks also have the ability to propel themselves more than 3 meters into the air. Diving for abalone is highly lucrative but potentially dangerous, with divers routinely encountering large sharks as they spend hours underwater breathing through hoses attached to boats. Now, abalone are marine snails, a desirable food and can be eaten raw or cooked. Let's start off with number 7. Peter Clarkson was an abalone diver killed by 2 great whites in Western Australia back in 2011. What made this attack so creepy is that Peter was profiled for Shark Week along with other divers who fished in very dangerous waters, and he was the one who seemed to be more afraid than the others and was planning to stop at the end of that season. He was actually killed while or immediately after the Shark Week episode was being filmed. It's an amazing episode called The Great White Gauntlet. Number 6. Way back in 1965 in Brisbane, Australia, Gordon Hobrook was deep sea fishing when he accidentally hooked a shark, which pulled him overboard and ate him. Number 5. Back in 2007, Eric Nerhus, another abalone diver in Western Australia, was bitten head first. He had his whole head and one arm in the shark's mouth and managed to get free and lived to tell how he escaped. After the attack in his hospital bed, he said, "There was this big black eye, this 5-inch eye just staring straight into my face with not one hint of fear. I was diving down at 8 meters. I was following a line of abalone on the sea floor and had my head down concentrating. The next minute I was hit that hard, and I am in like a dark cave that is squashing me in a vice, up and down. It started to shake me. That is when they cut off the biggest piece of meat they can get. The shark opened its mouth a bit and I tried to wriggle out." For Eric, the impact of this attack knocked the regulator from his mouth, cutting off his oxygen. His nose was broken when the shark crushed his goggles against his face. His whole head, shoulders and right arm were swallowed. So with his free left arm, he reached and poked the shark in its eye socket. After escaping, he reached the surface and called out to his 16-year-old son Mark, who was on a nearby boat. His son pulled him on board. Back in hospital, Eric said, "There was just a pool of blood around me, and just as I was getting out of the water, it was coming up under my legs again." He was rushed to hospital, still conscious, thinking about his incredible escape. Apparently, his survival in such an attack, he had 1 in 10 million chance of escape. Yeah, you heard me right. 1 in 10 million. It's time for number 4. This young couple, Sergey and his girlfriend Natalia, were in chest-deep water when they were attacked by 2 sharks in North Carolina in 2001. Natalia lost track of the number of times the shark's teeth tore into her during what she estimated was a 2 to 3 minute ordeal that came with no warning, not a splash or a fin breaking the surface. He was killed and she lost her foot. This attack was one of the most vicious and brutal attacks, and what's weird is that this attack has never made it onto any countdown lists until now, right here in this video. It's time for number 3. In 1985, Shirley Ann Durden was a 33-year-old with 4 children. She lost her life to a great white shark in Peak Bay, Australia. She had been snorkeling in water about 7 feet deep, which is the equivalent to the deep end of a residential swimming pool, when she was brutally attacked by a great white shark estimated by witnesses to be 20 foot long. The first attack was a very gory strike. The shark bit her in half. By the time rescuers could get to the site of the attack, all that could be seen was the victim's headless torso. After a moment, the great white circled and returned and took that as well. It was the first fatal great white attack in South Australian waters in over 10 years, and the first time that an Australian victim was known to be eaten. Her husband and 4 kids watched the terrifying ordeal from the shore. Here's number 2. In 1994, Heather Boswell was attacked in the middle of the ocean while off a research vessel near Easter Island. She lost her leg while everyone looked on in horror as a small boat tried to get her out of the water. It was literally a tug of war between the people on the boat and the shark. This horrifying shark attack was actually one of the first videos of a shark attack caught on film. Heather managed to survive. Are you ready for number 1? World War II. The year is 1942. The pig basket atrocities. Pig baskets were normally used to stack pigs during transport to the slaughterhouse or the market. A few hundred captured Allied soldiers were put in bamboo baskets. They were tied together and stacked like pigs, lying down, and driven by army trucks to the shore, and then fed to the sharks one by one. After the war, the commander-in-chief of the Japanese forces in Indonesia, General Imamura, was eventually jailed for only 10 years for this atrocity due to a lack of evidence. If you enjoy listening to my voice, watch another video right now, and remember to subscribe. Leave me a comment, I'd love to know your thoughts. And one of you listening right now is gonna have me knock on your window in 4, 3, 2,